In this video, I will be discussing just an introduction to the idea of the year of no. Doesn't that just sound inviting, like a year of things that you want because you've carefully curated the activities and the people and the places that you're going to go? I just think it sounds fabulous. So don't get me wrong, I do understand the year of yes. I haven't read that book, but I've heard of the idea. It's trying new things, staying open to new things, and saying yes more times than not so that you can experience new things and discover yourself. But I find at the same time, what a waste of time if you know you're not going to like it. What a disregard for your time, because I feel like you're not carefully assessing situations and you're just kind of giving out your time and energy and money all willy-nilly. And how scary for anxious people to have to say yes all the time and like have to actually do the thing. And I will say self-discovery can of course happen even when you say no, or actually because you say no. So in this video, we're going to talk about 3 different questions you might have about the year of no. One being, why is it so hard to say no? How can I remind myself that saying no is okay? And how can I say no? Huge topics. So I'm just introducing each of these. So let's get into some of these questions that I pulled together and then some of the ideas that I pulled from other readings as well as Fuck No by Sarah Knight. Why is it so hard to say no? So it's different for every person. So some of the reasons here are on page 21, and just kind of take note if it sounds like that one of these might be you. I feel like I have no choice. I feel guilty. I don't want to be rude. I'm worried I'll regret it. I don't want to seem lazy. I'm just a pushover. I can pretty much relate to every single one of those in different situations at least. Those are, they're not very good reasons. They are. You think they are because you're used to saying yes, but they're actually not good reasons. So Sarah Knight, she's really amazing. She has 5 no fucks given guides. She's like the anti self-help guru, like but so effective. She kind of boils down 4 kinds of like yes men people. So these are different personalities that might add up to you. Now she has a quiz about all 4 of these on her No Fucks Given Guide website, and I will link that in the description because you should definitely just take the quiz and see which one you're most likely like. Now I took the quiz in the book, and what I found is that I got a healthy mix of all 4 of these, which is even worse than just having the majority of your answers being based on one. And that is because I'm gonna have to learn how to work through all 4 of them instead of just like one. But anyway, so there's a people pleaser, and that's of course you feel guilty for saying no. You don't want people to think of you a certain way because you say no, you feel obligated. Then you have the FOMO. You don't want to miss out. You fear that you're gonna miss this experience, and if you say no, you might also miss other experiences. Like say your friends plan something while you're out that you didn't go to, then you're missing double. Or your friends are never going to ask you again because you say no. That's kind of the FOMO. The overachiever is like the perfectionist in us. So I kind of relate this to me being in a group project and someone says, oh, like who can do this? And I'm always like, yes, I will do that because like it needs to be done right and well. It's also kind of a competition thing maybe at work is you want to one up everybody else. So you say yes. And then the pushover, you dislike confrontation. So you think it's easier to say yes than saying no. And it may seem that way, but if you say yes, you actually have to go out and do the thing. So it may actually be worth it for you to just say no. And you probably know that, but you just find it so difficult to convince yourself that it's okay to say no. So again, take the quiz. And then next, how can I remind myself that it is okay to say no? All right, I have 2 reasons. Again, so many reasons, just boiling it down to things that were most revelatory to me, I guess. And so assuming that you've already set your boundaries, which if you haven't, that needs to happen, but your boundaries are in place to protect your energy, time, and money and yourself. And so if you haven't, get on that. But if you have set your boundaries, saying no to a certain person or another thing is actually saying yes to protecting your boundaries and saying yes to yourself. So I found this awesome quote from the book that says, saying no to yourself so you can say no for yourself. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my boundaries. So it's like saying yes to your boundaries. Secondly, you're straight up doing a public service when you're saying no. Like how many people do you know that are just like yes men all the time? You need to normalize saying no in order to make it more okay for yourself and for others to see that it is okay to say no. And so others can say no too. And for that, I say, how very good of you. And also thank you for your service. I have 2 friends that come to mind that are amazing at saying no. I think absolutely no less of them. In fact, I think more of them because they make my life way less stressful. If they say no right away, I'll move on to the next person, or I'll understand, or whatever. Now, there are also people in my life that come to mind as saying yes to everything, and then it turns out a lot of times they may bail. So that to me, way worse than just saying no right away. I feel like a lot of people would agree with that. So you're really doing a public service to yourself, your friends, your family, your colleagues, everything. So the third question I have today is, how can I say no? So this can be entirely an entire series of videos of how to say no in itself. I mostly recommend getting this book or looking at other resources online because I don't want to be super repetitive. I just kind of want to introduce you to material like this to check out on your own because I don't want to just say everything that she said here. Here are just 2 quick and dirty tips that I've learned so far reading this book. First of all, maybe is not a no. Like, maybe sucks. Even if you're pretending that when you say maybe you actually mean no in your head, it does not actually mean no. Maybe is a cop-out, and it's a way to leave, in Sarah Knight's words, your friends, family, and colleagues dangling like goddamn participles. So you don't want to do that. Maybe is not acceptable, and it's not an alternative to no. If you're saying no, you need to say no. Maybe sucks. I almost feel like maybe should be a use that we barely ever use. And secondly, Sarah Knight talks about having personal policies, or like kind of making up your personal policy as you go. Like if your relative asks you to lend them money and you're like, actually my personal policy is that I do not lend family members money. You don't need to really explain it because it's your personal policy. That is the explanation, is it is your personal policy, right? So you can kind of make those up on the fly, or you can even make personal policies based on your boundaries that you set. So some examples of personal policies could be, I don't lend money to my friends. I don't go out to eat more than X times in a week. Policies should be used pretty sparingly because not every no can be a personal policy. Like, that's not going to work. But they can be extremely effective if you do it in that way. So one of the most vivid, clear, and important no's, or even personal policies in my lifetime, was I did not drink before I was 21, like ever. And I'm only bringing this up because I don't think I realized how amazing I don't drink worked as a personal policy for me. People took it incredibly seriously. So because that was a personal policy of mine, people would ask me, but what do you say if someone asks you? It got to the point where no one does ask you because they know it's your personal policy and they actually respect you for your personal policy and your no. So if you come up with some awesome personal policies that you really believe in, they're true to you and they somehow better you, people will respect them. It's awesome. People will respect them because you're respecting yourself enough to have them. Again, this was only my introduction to the year of no and saying no and etc. I hope this whet your appetite to explore the topic throughout the year. Maybe we can do some more content on something like this. In the comments, please let me know if this is more of a year of no or a year of yes for you and why that is. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, You Seem Normal, on YouTube. And give this video a thumbs up if you ended up watching it. I have a awesome Instagram account as well. It's called @YouSeemNormal. I give you updates when I post a new video, and I also have different content throughout the week over there, so it'd be great if you follow me on there. But that's it. Don't be normal, and also say no. So when I was buying this particular book that I'll be talking about in this video today, I went in to buy 2 books. One I found pretty easily, and then the second one I went in self-help psychology because I found one of the author's books in humor but not the rest of them, and online it said that she did have the books in the store. So I went back in self-help psychology and I couldn't find it either. So then of course I had to go up to the man because I really need this. I was buying it for my mom's birthday. Go up to the man in kind of the center where they kind of can help you in the bookstore. This guy was an older man, probably late 60s, early 70s. He said, "What can I help you find?" And I said, I'm looking for Fuck No by Sarah Knight with a K. I tell you, people in bookstores are like unfazed. People who work in bookstores are quite unfazed by things. I just feel like they get a lot and they're really cool. You know, like they just know a lot. They're here for you. Do you catch my drift? And wait, what's the difference between the pushover and the people pleaser? Telling you, great reference book. And so that is just my best example. I mean, an example of, and I like, if it was like a comment on Facebook, I would like give it a thumbs up. I would like it so it goes up and more people can see it. And I also want to read this book. It's called like Essentialism. And